everyone, it's Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am creating a layout just for fun. Gosh, it's been a while since I've been able to do one of these without having a purpose behind my layout. So I actually hadn't planned to use this piece of paper. It is Stampin' Up, I do believe, and it is super thin, like almost tissue paper thin. But I had used it to look after a cut file I had cut quite a while ago. I had the cut file sitting on top of it, and then I had it in a plastic bag, and I just pulled that cut file out because I'm like, you've got to get this used up. And it's sitting on the corner of my desk, and I had this flame cut file done because I knew I wanted it for these particular photos. And I looked over at that newspaper print and went, that's perfect. That is what I need to back this photo on. So I'm just going to use it. Even though it's super thin, I think once I, put my ephemera on it and pop it in an album, I think I'm going to get away with it. If not, I'll back another piece of paper onto it just to add a little bit of weight. So I've just pulled out 3 different colours of acrylic paint, a red, an orange, and a yellow. I gessoed my page first, which is kind of like adding a little bit of white in the background also. And now I'm just literally striping on orange, red, and yellow. No real rhyme or reason to it, just right down the center. I know approximately where I want my cut file and photos to go, so I'm just kind of rolling with it. So once these are on, I set them aside to dry. I mount my photos. I mount my photos first in a white, then kind of like a pinky sort of color, a really subtle sort of coral it is. Then I mount those and the flame, the fire in foam, and I adhere all of that down on the page. Then I pulled out a bunch of the Heidi Swap storyline ephemera that's like who, what, when, where, why, and arrows and tags and things that's like about going away, because that's what this photo is about. It is the first day of the winter holidays in these photos, not in real life. And I really wanted to document that I had surprised Matthew on a trip. He knew we were going somewhere, but he didn't know where. Obviously, he sort of figured it out as the car kept driving to where we were going. And we pulled up at this super cute cottage, and it had an open fire, which Matthew thought I was mad, but I insisted on lighting. He just didn't know how. It's all good. I had it under control. And then he pulled out this furry vest that he'd bought from a shop just because for me. So it was just like a really sweet, cute, fun little time away. And I really wanted to use the fire cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict because I thought it fit really, really well with the whole kind of gist of my story. So the who, what, when, where, why are kind of, important to what's happening in this story, because that's kind of the whole point of what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about who went, where did we go, what did we do, and that kind of thing. So I really loved having those little bits and pieces that I could use. It's amazing because at first when I saw those in the pack, I was like, they're going to be so hard to use. I got nothing to use those with. But then as soon as the right photos came out, I was like, oh, they're perfect. Which just gets me every time when that happens with scrapbooking. You look at something and think, oh my God, I can't do that. And then that you hold on to them for long enough, and then the right photo comes along and you're set. In this case, I hadn't even held on to this ephemera for that long, but it happens all the time. So I am busy popping a little bit of foam onto that little teeny tiny arrow, because the when, the who, the what, and the where is all popped up on foam, but the places and the little stamp that's underneath when is just stuck straight down. I also stuck 2 little vellum bits on, but they're very hard to see. There's that little spotty love heart that's right near the who, but I actually end up covering that up because it just gets completely lost. And then like one of those icon thingies over near the what. I decided this page needed some jazzing up, so I cut a little section out and I'm distressing it with my scissors, and then I'm going to use the same paper that I put in the flames underneath there, but different sections of this paper are pinker than others. Some were quite orange and rusty, some were quite pink, and I really wanted the orange and rusty part, not the pink part. So I'm shuffling through all my scraps of paper to try and find the sort of rustiest section of the paper, because I really want it to match in with the flame. And I haven't really got much pink going on this layout. I've really just got the sort of orangey darks colours happening. So once I find the right bit, I then get some double-sided tape and tape off sort of around the edges on the back, so I have something to stick my paper to. And in this case, the paper is already a perfectly straight line, and the section that I want is in that perfectly straight line. So I'm going to line that up as closely as I can along the bottom, so I don't need to cut a fresh bit. I can tell you right now, spoiler alert, that I don't get it straight. So I do end up still having to cut it to get it perfectly straight, but the thought was there, the intention was there. So I'm going to line this up along here, as nice and straight as I can. And oh, there we go. Had it a bit wonky. So I'm just going to quickly trim that down, nice and easy. And I'm going to do the same up on the top section. So I'm going to flip the paper around and cut a little divot out from up the top here. And then distress that up with my scissors. Rough. I even tear it just a little, which I really like. And the section I really want to use is this really rusty section that's kind of in this awkward spot over here. But the rustiness of it is just perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway. Just because of the colours there. They're going to just be the perfect match for me. So once I go ahead and do that, I'm going to pump down my thread again. And carefully line this up in the awkward shape and awkward back of this one. This one was a little bit trickier to line up because I had to make sure there was no sort of missing bit sticking. See, it stuck to the table instead of the paper, so just straightening that up again. A little bit more fiddly this one, but once I get it, nailed it. So once that's down, I then trim off the excess, and it's a perfect straight line, and it looks amazing. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on some ephemera. And this is the Hey Hello sticker sheet that I'm using. Now, I have literally just realised right now that I don't have a title on this layout. Like, it's literally taken me, I made this layout about 4 days ago, sent it to my sister, been sitting here looking at it, need to type up the journaling, and I'm literally just now realising I don't have a title. Does it need one? I don't know. It's going to have journaling on it. What do you think? Tell me in the comments down below. Do I need to add a title to this? I feel like every single layout I make has a title. For some reason, this one just never got one. Tell me what you think. Title? No title. Just pulled out some Lucky Us enamel love hearts that I'm popping around. I also mix in some of the enamel spots, use up the last of those, and I'm done. But am I done? Do I need that title? Now I can't stop looking at it. I feel like I do. Maybe something across the flames on the fire, maybe underneath the house cottage picture. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Just splattering on some Heidi Swap Colour Shine in gold, because that's what I always do. I was contemplating getting some white out in this case as well, some white Liquitex, because I think that would have had a really nice contrast with what else is happening on the page. So I may go ahead and do that if I also add a title. We will see. Tell me what you think down in the comments. I hope you have enjoyed watching this process. I really loved creating this one. This one was so much fun. Thank you for watching. I hope I have inspired you to get into your craft room and create just for fun. Have a really happy, scrappy week, everyone, and I will see you next time. Oh, don't forget, we've got amazing things coming up in September, so make sure you check us out.